Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you guys for tapping in here again with the Crown Content Publications family YouTube channel where publishing and marketing do meet, of course. If you're interested in learning more about our services to assist authors, self-published authors, and freelancers, visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. This is where you'll learn more about our mission. You'll find a list of services that we offer. For example, our podcast show interview segments that are specifically for entrepreneurs and freelancers who may be seeking more marketing and promotion for their business in the year of 2022. Then you'll find just more information about other ways that we've been working hard to be able to support people who are in small business for themselves. So today I thought I would hop on really quick. Today's date marks April 13th, 2022. Can you guys believe that we've made it to 2022 and a new millennium, a new age, just a new way of doing things altogether? And digital technology has definitely made networking for businesses a real advantage, if you know how to use it. And that's why today's segment is about how self-publishers may be able to save money. That's right. So I'm not the type of self-publisher services coordinator who wouldn't want to share with you guys the key, maybe the insights, maybe just a gist of what we have learned as publishers ourselves, who managed to help to format ebooks, edit. That's just going to be half of the battle. As a matter of fact, a lot of the writers I talk to have already published many books. They've already worked with publishing houses, so they may find this segment informational, they may not. And the reason I say that is because, when you have experience with what I'm going to be talking about on the segment today, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, once again, our services are not limited to brand new authors who, which every publishing house kind of goes through that phase where they do. It's not just a phase, but these periods where it's brand new authors or upcoming writers that are looking for their breakthrough when it comes to a publishing house. The truth is, I want to talk about it right here on this segment. Go ahead and give me a like and subscribe, guys. Don't forget, because we appreciate your support. Also, in the description section is going to be the link to the podcast show I was talking about at the beginning of this video, where if you are looking for, different small businesses to support, maybe you can use some of the services of these entrepreneurs that we interview, from wedding planners to DJs to artists, you name it. Construction guys, we get their stories. We get to the nitty-gritty of what it's been like trying to be an entrepreneur during a pandemic, because a part of what Crown Content Publications is trying to do as far as our mission is keep the vision of business networking alive. Even before digital technology, businesses have always found a way to network, merge with other businesses, connect with people in their fields of work to keep them growing. And this is just a fact. So, like I say, before you had the contacts in your phone that you could go look up, hit the button and just call, you had the yellow pages. You had an address book where you kept all of your contacts. Things like accountants and bookkeepers have always been here, but what did businesses, small businesses and entrepreneurs do if they couldn't afford those type of workers back then? So that's some of the things we do cover on this channel, so you do want to like and subscribe soon. But this segment is not about that, but it does kind of tie in, because what publishing may have looked like 20-30 years ago, it hasn't too much differed. I'm just saying the efficiency, the real possibility of publishing a book on your own can be, and most times often is, much cheaper than working with publishing houses. Now, a publishing house they're very good at what they do. I'm not here to strip business from them or anything, but it's like more and more so. I guess even with the economical changes around the world, you hear writers say, "Hey, man, this is getting a little costly," or maybe the publisher that I'm working with, their prices are even rising, and I still want to be an author. So what do I do, Miss Whitney? And oftentimes, we end up on a discussion of self-publishing as a option, not because it's going to be a free route, not because it's going to be an easier route. The thing is, when you work with publishing houses, guys, you're practically paying them, because see, I'm not going to give any fancy words y'all can't understand on this segment. I want to get straight to the point so I can help authors out here, not just Crown Content Publications, but maybe there's other, companies out here that offer publishing services just like we do. So something like self-publishing can be possible to you. Now, if it's called self-publishing, why would I say I offer services? Well, because even during the self-publishing process, you may need assistance with bringing your vision alive. That is so crazy. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but a call literally came through right while I was recording this. So yes, that's just confirmation that a segment like this is definitely needed, because pretty much in a nutshell, like I do offer these consultations, and I make the first one free for any client. I do that for a reason, because sometimes it takes time to just that's why I'm on the channel today, to kind of break this down and make it understandable for anybody, like a teenager. This is how possible self-publishing actually is. There's my call again. But I'm going to repeat this again. Self-publishing is absolutely not only a real and legal option, this turns you into an entrepreneur, a freelancer all of a sudden. Yes, when you became an author, you became that anyway. All you're doing is signing a contract with a publishing company, giving them the rights to help you publish, market. I'm trying to work into y'all and explain why these publishing packages are $3,000, $5,000. Actually, the more a package is, how it's supposed to look with that publishing company, the more a package is, the more they are willing to do for you, from the distribution to the marketing to the printing, and they're handling more for you, so you can expect them. It's about to make sense in 1 second. You can expect them to charge you more, because something like printing costs alone is not cheap. Okay, something like editing and formatting your book so it looks as professional as possible is not cheap. Well, anyways, it seems like the publishing houses are charging their taxes too. But remember, Crown Content Publications does exist, and we have studied this business to get more of a feel on how we can help authors who may be starting off with little to nothing. Because, for example, I myself, when I started my journey as an author, I was, y'all don't know how many countless nights and days, whether I told people I was doing it or not, behind the scenes, I still have the documentations and record of it, just kind of like, not to prove how I was denied, how my manuscripts were denied, because they weren't always denied. Sometimes they were accepted by the publishing house, but the prices weren't doable for me, just starting off as an author. And so, yes, unfortunately, it did take me going through certain things as a writer, like, oh my gosh, these packages are outrageous. And then, honestly, yes, guys, they even offer payment plans. But the thing is, these guys are smart. These publishing houses are very smart. What do I mean? 9 times out of 10, you're signing a contract, even if you agree to payment plans, right? You're signing a contract that's kind of binding you. That's kind of binding you to, because as soon as you sign that contract, they're probably going to get started on their side, or they might say, look, we got to see at least one payment. But this is just an example of what I'm talking about. They're probably going to expect you to keep your end of the deal. If you said you're going to pay $3.95 a month for 6 months, and they're putting the work in, did this contract involve ownership or rights or royalties to them of your book? It's just things that I feel like I need to go over and break down to new and upcoming authors out there. Maybe if you've even been in the industry for a while, you already know what I'm talking about. You look up 2 years later and you're wondering why you go research something and actually 100 books sold last year, but you didn't get cut not one royalty check, and you're wondering why. But see, each contract is going to vary. It doesn't get any simpler, and I'm not going to say it to where people feel offended or stupid or anything. Because see, this is why business segments like these are needed. This is why I choose to offer publication services consultations to help you think through, gather, plan marketing strategies for your book in case you do not want to go through a publishing house at all. And one thing about, I'm going to just say this off the rip because I don't think we'll ever change this because I see this so much with publishing houses. I prefer to offer services. Maybe you need graphic design. See, I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody, but this definitely may be cheaper and help you save money when it comes to publishing your book. I might need a total of 8 services to publish a whole book. Distribution and printing might be one. Editing might be another. Formatting might be another. Marketing plan may be another. How do I plan on selling this book? You know what I'm saying? I said 8, so I was trying to go through all of them. I know there's more copyright and ISBN process. That's 5. Right, because that copyright and ISBN is going to have a lot to do with your ownership rights and the distribution as far as the barcode on the back of your book. And it depends on what type of book it is, So really, I just named 5. But let's say we got those 5 services, and that's really practically all you need to publish a book. Oh, ghostwriting, because not everybody wants to sit up and write their book. That's 6 already. I was trying to get to 8 of them. 8 services that you will need to complete. I don't think people think like that. They just say, look, I don't want anything to do with what services I need or what. All I know is I have a story and I want to get it on a bookshelf. That's one mentality we deal with out here that gets people into bad contracts with publishing companies. And there's nothing wrong with having a vision or a goal to publish your book, but the other mentality is, well, I've written my story and I don't want anything to do with how anything else works. I just want my book on a bookshelf. So you've written it, you've put in probably about 40% of the whole 100% you're going to need to get that book on the bookshelf. But the other 60%, some guys have done this in the industry already. They say the other 60%, I'm just going to send this manuscript to a publishing house, take my chances on my luck, and see who's going to be willing to, buy my story. That's one thing that's another option. You can sell a whole story, and then now when they accept that manuscript and everything, you might get paid for the story. You still want to look at the contract that comes with that. Don't sit there and wonder why when the book becomes a bestseller and you're not getting a part of the cut. You sold the story. It's just an example of something that could happen on a contractual basis. But back to the point. At the end of the day, you probably need a total of 8 services to bring that book alive, depending on what type of novel, journal, let's say it's a textbook, a workbook, educational, a magazine. Different publications do vary. So the list of services you might need for your publication and that author over there might need for their publication might differ. But you don't know that if you're not asking the right questions to the publishing houses that you're calling. Once again, you won't know that if you don't contact Crown Content Publications to kind of help you feel through and really help you save the most money as possible when it comes to publishing your book. That's the general category I'm on here to talk about real quick. You see, you might only needed 8 services the whole time that you can totally do on your own. All we do is offer services to save you time and money. Even if you don't want to write the book, okay, we offer this service. You want us to write it and then you take your manuscript to a publishing house? That's totally fine. So everybody's needs are going to be different. You wrote it, but you want us to help you come up with the perfect book cover and book title? That's something that we do. But you do your own research and you come back and let me know. If you call a publishing house and say, hey, I just need help with a book title, you let me know what they tell you. Because 9 times out of 10, they're a publishing house. They're looking to help you with every service and strategy that comes with publishing your book. I know it doesn't make sense right now, the point I'm trying to get to. But once again, we're talking with these guys, $3,000 packages, $4,000, $5,000 packages. This is before your book even makes its first sale. Okay? So what is different from you putting that book and the services that it's going to need in somebody else's hands from you keeping the services in your hands? Let me tell you the first bonus that comes with that. Number one, not only are you the author, you automatically own rights because you applied for your copyright and got all of that done. You automatically are entitled to every cent of your book sale outside of the consignment packages you choose to go with, if you choose to put your book in bookstores. And somebody out there might already be wondering, well, why wouldn't I want it in bookstores? Just because that's the 80% generalization goal in society, to see it in a bookstore doesn't mean that that's going to be how the start of your authoring path is going to look. I hope this makes sense so far. Like, just because, do y'all even know a lot of the books that are in stores sometimes do not sell the way you think they do? That's why the bookshelves are full when you go in there. So what really, if you were to do a consultation with me, I'd ask you, what's really your main goal with having it in the store in the first place? Why do you want it in the store so bad? Can you afford, what do you want it in? 1 store, 2 stores, 3 stores, 4 stores, 5 stores? You want it in 12 stores? Okay. Even when you're talking to these publishing houses, go ahead and ask them where they, if you pay them $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 for these packages, go ahead and ask them, because if it's that much money, oh yeah, you should see it in 12 stores like you want to, and then that is the right fit for you. And then yes, you need to go ahead and cough up the money to be able to let them do that. The difference between self-publishing is you don't have to do a contract with anybody. You did all the services yourself. If you would like to keep invoices from Crown Content Publications proving that we helped you with services, that's totally fine. But one thing we don't do is look for the rights or ownership to any of our clients' work. As a matter of fact, all of your ideas remain your ideas. All of your manuscripts remain your manuscripts. Why would we want rights and ownerships to something that you worked on? These are what the other sharks are going to look like. You done sent your manuscript, you don't have it copyrighted, and even when you tell them, no, I'm not interested in the contract, once you see what their packages look like and the services they offer and that you can't afford it, how do you know? Because once you send that, it's already sent. You sent them maybe the first 3 chapters of your manuscript for them to evaluate. How you know they're not taking that and using it? That's question number 1. So it's 2022. You definitely want to not just research is good, but how you use that research is going to be very critical in your career as an author. Do y'all know how many people I've already met who literally signed contracts with publishing houses that were supposed to be good for 3 years, 5 years, and they still feel like they got pretty much robbed out of their work I'm not coming from a place of anger. I'm coming from a place of, when do people wake up to the more independent they become, the more skills they learn on their own, because obviously these publishing houses and the editors they have and the marketers, everybody on their team is trained and specialized in what they do. And you becoming an author is already a part of what they do. You're putting a book together. You're selling that book. What I'm talking about is the services that are going to have to come together and that are going to have to be applied to even get that book and bind it, hard copy, paperback. Then what is your goal? Once you have that book in your hand, what is your goal? Just to sell it? Just to see it on the books? I mean, that should be a dream or vision. But the steps that you take to get your books wherever you want to see them are going to differentiate you from how the next author chooses to sell theirs. Now, if New York Times just happened to come across your book, regardless of what platform it is, and they like your story, you're getting, if you're working so hard as an author that you're doing the background work yourself as a self-published author, you're asking people for reviews. You're asking critics to check your work out. You're submitting your work to magazine companies and stuff so you can do interviews. This is what marketing yourself is going to look like. This is what marketing your book is going to look like. There's no wrong or right route, number one, to market yourself, because being an author is a small business just like any other small business. I don't think people look at it that way. They feel like for some reason them being an author is not a small business unless they have pretty much worked their way in with a publishing company somewhere. And many authors are successful today because they've done this, okay? But the more you understand what consignment packages are, what they look like, and why they're offered by bookstores, by book selling platforms like Amazon, I think you'll wake up to what's right for you. So yeah, I mean, Barnes & Nobles is a very reputable and notable and popular bookstore. If your goal specifically is to have your book in every Barnes & Noble store across the country, then your goal is going to look different from the author who's just interested in publishing a book and working their way up as a self-published author. I don't know where that mentality comes from, that I'm going to write this book and it just might be a bestseller. It just might make the top book list. Like, do y'all know when they pay these people, these publishing houses, this money for the packages, that's not a consignment package. Consignment package is going to be bookstore level. Whether you're doing the bookstore level work or whether the publishing company is doing the work for you, somebody's doing the work. I think I'm getting somewhere with the concept I'm trying to give now. Somebody is doing that work for you. So I was just like many authors where I'm like, man, I just want to come up on this money and pay the publishing house and trust them. Did I research publishing houses? Did I just hear about this publishing house and I saw Jenny made it and they got her book all out? That's what I'm saying, y'all. They know that they're willing to do this work because you done paid them. But it's not promised that your book is... You can have a contract with them for 5 years all you want and still only sell 50 books a year. But they're still going to be paid according to their contract, and you're only going to be paid according to that contract. These are just the type of things I guess I came on this channel today to try to get people to think about when it comes to their book. You can work a whole full-time job and still finish a book and somehow bring the services to your book as a self-published author that you're going to need to bring that book alive. You can still do that. But you're doing the work of the publishing house for yourself. Now you hear what self-published means. Even if you yourself paid somebody who offers publishing services, they're not a publishing house, they're offering you services to help save you time while you're at work, to help save you time while you're on that family vacation, to help save you time while you finish your college studies, you're still a self-published author. Because see, a publication services company may still offer you a contract, but this contract is still going to say, and it should say, and I would look for it to say if I were you guys out there, look, we're going to offer you these services. This is our rate. This is how much we charge for this one service, or do you need 3 services? This is how much we charge for all 3 services. Do you need 5 services? This is how much we charge for all 5 services. But it should say in that contract somewhere that most definitely, I'm not looking for rights or ownership. I'm not looking to use your manuscript for my own personal uses. After these services are put in for you, I'm not looking to use your work anywhere else. See, I don't look for that type of stuff when you're doing these contracts. I don't know how deep I want to go with this. All I can do is try to share. I'm going to say this much. There are so many people who have put blood, sweat, and tears into making sure they pay publishing houses instead of putting blood, sweat, and tears into deeply understanding the contracts that they are getting into. Like I say, I've had my experiences too. It made me a publishing services coordinator who wants to help authors with services that save them money, that save them time, and that helps to expand their knowledge about what the self-publishing process should look like. Whether they do it on their own or they use a publication services small business like myself to help bring that book alive. The difference is, okay, do you want us to stop there? We've done so many services and even connected you to a book distribution company who will print as many books as you need. Then what? Where are you going to go? You can still go talk to a publishing house, but that's what my publication services consultations are for. What is your plan with this book? We're asking you at the beginning. You might already have it written. You might be halfway done. You may have not started at all. You might end up deciding, well, you know what? Your prices are so affordable. I want you to go ahead and write it. I want you to go ahead and ghostwrite it. We make it clear. We make it clear in our contracts. We still won't own the rights. We don't need our logo or anything on the front of your book cover. We just offer services. We don't need to be co-author. We don't need to be any of that. We're just offering you the services. But if you need us on the marketing side and you say, well, you know what? Thank you for my first 50 books of this completed professional looking novel. But Miss Whitney, I want my book in a bookstore. It's not like it's not doable. Are you willing to have somebody help you to get that done or give you the advice and tips to go that route so you can remain a self-publisher? Or would you like to take your 50 books to a publishing house and show them how much you've already got done? They'll see you're a self-published author and still try to get them to go ahead and market your books for you. There are thousands upon thousands of marketing companies out here, guys. And I don't know if they're going to tell you what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just speaking business tips when it comes to self-publishing and ways to save, how it could just save you a lot of time and money. Time only in the sense of you having knowledge that you do not have to try to. The more research and knowledge, let me stay on it, the more you can do for yourself. Remember I said that. The more research and knowledge, the more you know you can save money to have somebody do it for you. It's still saving you more money than you paying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for the whole book deal with the publishing house. See, publishing houses, they're already connected to platforms you guys would want to see your books in. But you can also call those platforms yourself. You can call those agencies and companies yourself. Does it look better if you have a literary agent? Yes. And the thing about a literary agent, most of them don't charge you anything unless they get your book or you wanted to see it anyway, because how else can they make money? You've already did. You're still better off a self-publisher, because you've already did. You got, like I said, I'm using that for an example, 50 books in a box already of your own book. Not everybody comes to a literary agent that way. I hope I'm saying this. And you guys are reading between the lines, but you got 50 books already in the box. Everything's already complete. The cover, everything you need to go with your book, and you come to a literary agent like that. Okay, a lot of people come to literary agents to help guide them to the proper publishing houses. To me, it's just a cycle of people not knowing their options, not knowing the more they can do for themselves. And even when they start researching themselves, asking people what you should do is not going to work. Asking people, ain't nothing wrong if they don't have experience. Even if they do, if you don't know the vision for your book, because that research should help you do that. It should help you get to the foundation of where you want to see your book. What is the goal? Is it to help young people in prison? Is it just a fiction story, a non-fiction story for fun? Is it a comic book? What is your goal ultimately for this book? If I was a literary agent, this is what I would ask. So I've said it on many segments before, guys. I might be headed that direction in life. But I don't know again either, because I do enjoy helping people self-publish and become independent entrepreneurs with their books. Are they willing to put the same work a publishing house is going to put into your book for $7,000-$8,000? Are they willing to work with my publishing services coordinators, not literary agents, work with me as a publishing services coordinator to push their own book? Everybody doesn't have that entrepreneur, because it's going to take that. Do you have a call list on your desk as an author of bookstores yourself that you can talk to? I'm asking you right now, do you? Do you have a list of, even if my segment isn't enough, and you want to even forward or share my segment with the literary agent and so they can give you their opinion on what I'm talking about, feel free to do it. Because they'll probably tell you, well, she's not saying anything wrong. Self-publishing is 100% an option. What she's saying is weigh your options, especially if you're starting out. I'm going to tell you right now, not many publishing houses are going to work with you with no money. They at least want a down deposit and they want a contract signed. Literary agents know. So like I say, I may or may not go that direction, because that's going to look like me helping you to land contracts with big publishing houses. But this experience right here is like foundation for me. Like, if I've learned and mastered the art of publishing a whole book and getting it distributed and getting it marketed on your own, then yes, I may be cut at some point in life later on to help people land these contracts with publishing houses. But a literary agent's job, they're not really making any money until they help you land a contract with the publishing house. There may be some literary agents that call me in the near future too. Look, I want to save money, and I'm going to go ahead and invite you literary agents out there. Think about what I'm saying here. We can help authors a lot more if they just learn that a lot of the same services that these publishing houses are offering during the pandemic, they can do on their own. Or they can call Crown Content Publications, and we help them do it. Hope that excites somebody out there. Yeah, because see, remember at the beginning of the segment I was saying you might only need 8 full services. And I mean professional, hard work on services to get your box of 50 books, right? I mean, printed, copied, laid out, page colors you want them, everything. Is that going to take an investment? Yes, just like you investing in those publishing houses. But this is about how it could save you a lot of money. Why would I just want 1,000 of my own books sitting around? I mean, I better plan to sell those for the next 5 years of my life if I'm going to just invest in having 1,000 copies of my book. Because go check out what a publishing house is going to do for you. This is just an example. Why would I want 1,000 books printed if I have no marketing plan, no marketing strategy? I don't know what bookstore these are. Well, I mean, they could be smart too. You got 1,000 of your own books in your house. Who's your target audience? Like, what do you plan on doing with them? I could think right now. I started thinking business really quick. What would I do with 1,000 of my own books or 1,000 of a client's books who say, here's 1,000 books, Miss Whitney, get them sold for me? Could I do it? Would this look like me riding around mall parking lots, going up and down the communities, traveling, trying to sell these books for my client? They still better be paying me something, or am I making commission off of each book sale? How is that going to look? In a nutshell, that's practically what you're paying a publishing house. I'm bringing these type of scenarios up real quick because this is practically what you're paying $7,000-$8,000 like y'all are doing, $2,000 probably minimum to do for you. But are they riding around selling them on a day-to-day basis for you? No, it was an example of something you can do yourself. It's something a lot of self-published authors are doing. But I think a lot of people write their book, man, and they looking straight at fame. They're looking straight for the way that they're going straight to the top off of this first, second, third, maybe even the 10th novel. So you mean to tell me you're paying a publishing house 10 times throughout your lifetime? Or are you just re-signing contracts? Like, this is literally what a consultation with me would look like. Like, these are the type of questions I'd be asking you. Not to be nosy, to see how we could save you some money. It's a whole economical disadvantage across many nations. And you mean to tell me you have that type of money to... A lot of you guys are scared to really, like I say, if you already are an author, you, boom, entrepreneur. You didn't mean it. Even if you're working with a publishing house, you didn't mean it, but you just became an entrepreneur. You just became a freelancer. Or in the new age, we use the term authorpreneur because it's practically true. Now, how hard you work than, more or less than the next entrepreneur may matter, because that entrepreneur may just be working with a literary agent and a book publishing company that's handling everything for them. The next entrepreneur may be busier because they are doing the work themselves. They're calling bookstores by the day, trying to see because calling bookstores, let me talk about that for a second. That's cool. But I'm warning you, this is going to look like every bookstore having a different consignment package available. How many books a month you think you're about to have in their store? How many, what they're going to make off of your book per sale. And this is one bookstore at a time. Of course, the more bookstores you have them in, it probably sounds like the more sales I'm going to make, or at least the more opportunity. That's a risky way of thinking, wouldn't you think? I'm going to say things without saying too much, because if you guys are authors out there and you don't eventually contact Crown Content Publications to see how we might be able to help you with marketing and promotion, and put it into perspective for you that you've already become an entrepreneur. You've already become a freelancer, somebody willing to work for themselves when you independently wrote a book. I mean, we don't know what to tell you, but your first consultation is free, and it's a whole 60 minutes for you to ask as many questions or get as much information from myself when it comes to how the self-publishing route is not only becoming more and more trendy before the economical disadvantage. Because I think what happened is a lot of writers begin to see what I just said. Like, man, what I'm paying them to do, I can really do myself. That's true. It's 100% true. But see, that thought when it comes like, man, I could do this myself, that's the easy part. Actually doing it yourself, you're not going to make any money until you do. So, I mean, like I say, your plan and marketing strategy with your book is really it. The reason publishing houses are in competition with one another is because all of their marketing plan strategies, promos look different. They might offer you book trailers. They might offer you whole informationals. They might, they might can get you on a billboard. It depends on who you work with. But yeah, everybody's going to have their fee. So I was talking about the bookstores. Let me stay on topic here. That's when you research and you're calling them. What you should be looking for is I guess the most books that can be sold in their store for you for the best price. So you might call 5 bookstores in one day, and the first 3 were saying, oh well, we can only do 5 books max. These are just type of things I've heard in real life, so I'm gonna use them as an example. You can only have 5 books at a time a month. But if for whatever reason your 5 sell out in a week, we'll definitely call you for 5 more books. And if those sell out 5, that's just how they do it, because maybe they were a smaller mom and pop bookshop type of thing. And I might have asked, well, y'all have all these other books in here. What you mean just 5? And maybe just for those 5 a month, they wanted $99 a month. Okay, so that means I wrote that down. Put a question mark, because maybe I want to reference back to them. $99 may fit in my budget. But see, you gotta look deeper than that. If how much are your books in there? How much are they gonna take? Are you even gonna make $99 back? I think people just want their books in the store. What is your goal? For people to see your books on the shelf? I'm not here to mock anybody. And yeah, once again, like I said, I don't mean for any of this to come off as like pushy, or I'm speaking in a way that I hope will lead people to open up their mind with their, because it feels even worse to hear somebody say, look, I just lost X amount of dollars, and these people didn't even keep their part of the bargain. And some of y'all are wondering, well, can't you just sue? What is going to Silver Court about something like that going to do? If you actually signed a contract and you didn't know it, consenting them to do everything they did with your book, whether it's because you didn't copyright it before you signed that contract, that's a great example right there. Whether it's because your book didn't sell even as near as what it should. It's a 5-year contract, but it didn't sell as near as what it should have the first 2 years. So by the 3rd year, for some reason, something happens in society and people are looking at that book because it gives a lot of information about UFOs. Just an example. But nobody thought it popular the first 2 years. It maybe only sold 5 copies altogether. But that 3rd year it's still a 5-year contract. That 3rd year comes and the books are selling off the shelves. But you didn't get sent one royalty check and you don't understand why. And they tell you, well, the deal here said it has to sell this many per year. Y'all got to look at those contracts. Even in the music industry, so many people have begun to fight back for their masters and stuff like that. Y'all just go research and check it out. But it makes you wonder, like some of the greatest artists you've ever heard of, They've at some point had to go back and fight for rights and extra royalty money they feel like they got cheated out of. Now, you can just, it is what it is. Just about every publishing house out there, there's a contract involved. Did I mention you can have attorneys look over, business attorneys look over that? They're practically going to talk to you like I'm talking to you. They might even want a literary agent. You might even want a literary agent or a publication services professional like myself sitting right there. Business major too, by the way. But sitting right there in the meeting, helping you to understand everything that's in that 5-page contract. A real one is probably going to be about 12 pages long. Because, they're going to give you details about what it is they're going to be doing for your book. And then there's probably going to be 4 or 5 pages just on how the royalties work at all. How do the royalties look if you said you would give them 2 books a year and you get sick and you're not able to write? How does that contract change? If you die, how does that contract change? If your book, like I said, only sells 5 of them in a 2-year span in a 5-year contract, what does that contract look like? That's the type of stuff that literary agent that you pay for their time, hopefully, because they're just there to give you a professional opinion about what that contract looks like, and a business attorney. Are you guys doing that? Or are you just taking the first contract because you're excited and you're trying to see your book on the shelves? So yes, this type of work is not cut out for the weak. But at the same time, because it's not, and because you know you're the type of person to put as much work as at least writing that book into that book, then you may as well be the type of person to go ahead and do everything else that comes with that book. There's millions, like I said, of marketing companies out here. If you're looking to get it marketed, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to invest in it if you were to self-publish it? Because the publishing houses you guys are signing contracts with, I'm not saying all of them are bad. Of course they're not. Many of them are still in business. And every business is going to have their bad reviews here and there. This is deeper than that. We're talking about how more and more people over time, I didn't name any specific publishing houses, but once you begin to see a trend like that, and just about every publishing house has had a person that felt like they got messed out of money. So if you don't want to be one of those, just consider, because see, self-publishing, who do you have to sign a contract with? Outside of the bookstore, if you decide to get that book in their store, like I said, that's what those packages are going to look like. One store might say 5 books a week is all we allow, or 5 books a month, because they're a small mom and pop shop. Another store, maybe as big as Walmart, may say, well, we only do 20 copies every 30 days, and then we can't have you with more copies than that per store, but this is the price. Either this is the price to get it in here, or this is how much we're going to keep off of each sale. Okay, now that you hear all of this, and this is for self-publishers that might want to save money. Now that you hear all of this, you already know you can shop bookstores that you can afford to have that book sold in and still try to make you some money. Or you can go self-hustle them. Like I said, make sure you're going to do some book signings, get yourself out there. You don't need an agent to do that. You don't need anybody to make you be ambitious about your book sales. But you can use, consultations along the way to help you market and come up with strategies, fun strategies that might, because that romance book might be different looking from that horror. And that horror book author may want to, in the month of October, do lots of events to let people know his book exists. It's just an example. But then again, the question remains, how much are you willing to put into self-promoting? When I say how much, not just the work, but if you're not willing to do the work, there's still going to be costs, because now you're paying a marketing company, or you're paying Google ads, whatever you're doing to make sure you're pushing your book out there. Or maybe you do want to call some publishing companies and see, and just ask questions like, when it comes to marketing my book, who do y'all use? What stores do you know? If you're doing book trailers, because you can go pay somebody to do a book trailer yourself. You can really sit and watch YouTube and learn how to do a whole book trailer. I mean, that's why I say how far are you willing, because it can save you some money. If they have a contract with a company already, and somehow they're able to get your book on a commercial with the whole author commercial on TV and like this type of ad, that's big. But you better believe you're paying. That's what comes with that publishing package price. So I hope this made sense. At the end of the day, either way, you're investing in yourself as an author just to get that book in the store, just to get that book, online or whatever you're doing. But are you willing to do that? Or you just want to sell your story and make your quick money, and now publishing companies can do whatever they want to do with your book? What are you willing to do? Or do you want to take an advance? You got your copies printed, you did everything on your own, and you want to work with a publishing company, and you want to go ahead and accept an advance before any of those books even sell. Okay, go over that advance contract and what it's going to look like. Do you not make royalties again until after they've made that $10,000 back that you took in advance? Until after they've made that $20,000? They might not make that $20,000 back off of your book. The contract was 5 years, but for another 10 years. If that happens, why would you expect you to get money back off of the book sale, even if you done already spent the $10,000 somehow? Now they're making their money back. That's what this type of stuff looks like. So anyways, guys, anytime you want to have, because I'm only saying so much on here, of course, but maybe you're interested in either me connecting you with not just literary agents, but other people with publishing experience who have published book themselves, to get more information about what that would look like, definitely visit my website. Not only is my business number on there, and I accept calls Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. You can also, schedule a consultation. That'll be more like a video chat session where you and you can ask all the questions you want for free for 60 minutes. Your first consultation. Because see, when I get on consultation levels with the self-published author, each consultation is going to be different, because this one author might be trying to, they've already self-published 10 children's books. So their marketing strategies and goals, like I said, might look a little different from an author who only has 2 self-published romance books. But we are definitely at Crown Content Publications more than supportive of independence and teaching and guiding authors in the direction of self-publishing, because if it saves you money, it's definitely supposed to somewhere make you money. Even though you had to invest something, are you seeing anything back? Are you seeing anything back per month, per year? And what are you willing to invest in yourself? Because, we offer services, but whether you choose us or not, and you just do consultations that help guide you to make the right decisions for your book, you can still go call people, or we're referring you to people. Either way, only that first consultation is free. After that first consultation, you might say, man, this was so good. Okay, I want to do this weekly until I am seeing at least $5,000 a month off of my book sales. If you're really that serious about your book, or I don't know, $5,000 every 6 months, because every self-published author has to start somewhere. A textbook about the solar system most definitely may do better than just a traditional novel, crime and mystery novel, because the point of the matter is something like a textbook, informational book published by a professor or a guy that used to work at NASA it's just more like in demand. Like, people would definitely want to read that. I'm not the judge to say whose would sell more, but yeah, their marketing plans and strategies, like, it's just true. Some books do sell themselves. Like, you sit here and write a book about UFOs and you market it in the right place, you market it in the right groups on social media, you talk about it at conferences at the right settings. Yeah, a book like that could easily make $3,000 a month. Setting that book price is going to matter, because your book price should look like you making the money you put into that book back over a course of time. So I hope this is more like informational, or maybe I'll just call this part 1, because it's a lot to talk about when I say that self-published versus the traditional publishing houses route. It differs. I'm not going to call one better than the other, but one is going to look like you definitely have room to grow. You definitely have room to save money and weigh your options. You're just putting more time and independence into your book as an author. The other is going to look like less work and studying those contracts. I mean, studying them. You don't just jump on something because Jenny Watkins, her book made, big money the year she signed with them, because what was her book about? You can't just do everything because you got advice. Like, hey guys, who should I go with pertaining to this and this, You're going to have to do what's best. This is actually one of those industries and one of these lines of work that you're going to have to research. You're going to have to strategize. You're going to have to know your goal behind that book. If it's textbooks, like I say, I'm mentioning textbooks a lot, but if they're textbooks, is it going to be schools or private schools that you are marketing those books to? Or is it you just want them on a bookstore and college bookstores or local mom and pop bookshops, right? You're gonna have to have a sales goal and stuff like this, but it can definitely be talked about more in consultations, and you can book them at www.crowncontentpublications.com, where publishing and marketing meet. That is our tagline, because a part of what we do, let's say that Arthur already has their marketing plan and strategies worked out. They got that part, because some authors do. They're already signed with a publishing house, but they might be looking to become a guest on our podcast show. You know what I mean? Just to get word out there more. Their literary agent calls and say, yeah, we want, how much is it going to be for my client to get on your podcast show? Well, in 2022, absolutely free for any entrepreneur, author who's looking for that. Don't forget that. And I've been saying it on other segments, so y'all don't forget. But the link to the podcast show for anybody interested, even if they're not an entrepreneur, freelancer, author themselves, they just want to hear and kind of get a feel and support the entrepreneurs we have been having interviews with, because like I say, some of these guys might be offering services you guys could use. We don't just interview authors, okay? Some of these guys might be medical professionals. They're in all type of different fields, and I love that about my podcast show. Even though it is brand new in 2022, I love that Crown Content Publications is beginning to grow our marketing platforms. But yes, we're where marketing and publishing meet, and that's why we're helping you with those publication services, the consultations, and leading you and guiding you in the right direction as self-published authors. But we also have our own version of promotions and marketing. We have our own packages, if that makes sense. And hopefully soon, guys, our own bookstore. So it's definitely important that because like I say, you guys can get out here and call bookstores and see what you can afford as far as getting your book in there. But I had to ask myself at some point, what can I do for authors during the economical disadvantage period in history, where it's not hurting them, but they can make some type of profit off of their books. And I mean, that's what came to me, bookstore. But there's already many bookstores out there. I encourage you guys to call and research and see what's going to be best, what's going to be the best fit for you. Woo. Okay, so this was an hour-long segment, and I probably will do a part 2. And excuse me if my eyes are puffy. I had 2 classes in school today. So yes, guys, I'm studying business, and it's been a long road, and then I want to expand my knowledge even more. I do, and I know there's other people out there like me. They work, they go to school, their parents, they're busy, but that doesn't mean you can't publish a book, and that we can't help you on the marketing and promotional side when you're through with it. But I don't like to say too much on the segments. You guys have to call me. In the meantime, like and subscribe, because we have these type of discussions on this YouTube channel. Podcast show, a little different. We're more they're more promotional interviews with entrepreneurs. So thank you guys for your time and support, and until next time, don't forget the website and the check that website out. It's gonna have the book link. It'll say get a consultation. Your first one's absolutely free. Or you can call me Monday through Friday, and we have a team of freelancers that are on standby to help you guys. So consider your options as self-publishers this year. Don't just jump into contracts, because what y'all do is y'all get into these contracts, and then you leave us on the back burner and say, hey, this is what happened, and then we got to help you out of that rut. It shouldn't be like that. We're telling you from the beginning, you can start, self-publishing sooner than later. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to give this video a like and a subscribe.